Hello everybody, it's Christina and welcome back to my library. This is my June of 2019 TBR and I actually have quite a few books here. One of them is probably over 1,000 pages if the last book was any indication. But everything else is not too bad. I mean, maybe they are a little bit long, but some of them are under 300 pages. So I feel like I should be able to get through all of this by the end of the month. We shall see. Wish me luck. But here we go. This is my, like I said, TBR for June of 2019. And I'm going to start things off with the book that I've already started reading. And I might already be finished by the time this video goes up. I probably will be, but I'm still reading it now, so I'm including it in this. And that is All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. And this is a historical fiction based in France. Specifically, it's a town called Saint Malo in World War II. And it follows mainly two characters, Marie and Werner. But there are some other side characters throughout the book that I've seen so far. And I'm really liking this. This is actually reminding me just how much I actually really like historical fictions. I actually haven't read them in years, but I've been kind of interested. I've been really interested in reading this book specifically because I've heard really good things about it. And I have to say, it does not disappoint. I'm really enjoying this. My mother-in-law actually let me borrow this from her. So this is not my copy, but yeah, really liking it. I might end up getting my own copy of it at some point because I really do think it's going to end up with at least a 4 out of 5 on Goodreads, possibly more, but we'll see. But anyway, yeah, reading this right now, really liking it. The next book that I want to talk about is my current library book. I haven't started reading it yet, but I probably will as soon as I'm done with All the Light We Cannot See. And that is Crazy Rich Asians by Kevin Kwan. And this book is actually, this is very, very unlike me, but this is a contemporary novel, which, and I guess it's also is it a rom-com? It might be a rom-com, but this is not normally the kind of book that I read. But I've heard pretty good things about this, and I've been wanting to give it a shot. So I figure, why not? It was at the library, so it's not like I paid any money for it. So if I don't like it, I just return it, and that's that. But I wanted to give it a shot, and this is, like I said, I'll be reading this after All the Light We Cannot See. Okay, next up, this one is probably gonna end up being a book that I read probably along with some of these other books. This is what I did last month with the not prequel, but the book that came before it. I read it alongside other ones. And that book is, oh gosh, it's heavy, Oathbringer by Brandon Sanderson. I was so happy. I mentioned in my May wrap up that I absolutely loved Words of Radiance. It had the highest score of all of the books that I read last month. And this one is just one that I've really been dying to read. It looks pretty long. I don't want to like accidentally spoil myself, but oh yeah, it's well over 1,000 pages. I saw like up to 1,250, but there might be more. So yeah, it's going to be another big one. I don't know what happened right here. It got a little bit damaged. I ordered this from Book Outlet. They actually had it and I was super excited. So I ended up getting it for quite a lot cheaper than, its normal retail price. It is a little bit damaged, but I could probably fix that. I'm not going to return it. It'll probably get damaged as I read it anyway. Like, I don't need my books to look perfect. I'm okay with that, but it's a little shiny, as you can see. But yeah, super excited to read this one, and it follows the story of the characters from the last book. But again, can't really talk too much because this is the 3rd book in the series, and yeah, it's gonna probably just keep getting more and more like, oh, there we go. Now it's not quite so glary and you can see it, but yeah, it's gonna probably really go in depth with certain characters. And again, can't say anything, but I'm so excited. Plus, I'm really excited to see what happens with the thing that blew my mind last time, because that cliffhanger, though, is all I'm going to say. But yes, that's the next one. The next book on my TBR is actually another one that I am already reading, and I kind of forgot about it because I don't have a physical copy of it. But it is the next audiobook that I'm reading or listening to. And this is actually a continuation. I did listen to the first book on audiobook. I think it was December January. It was something like that. And that book is Grey Sister by Mark Lawrence. And this book, or at least the series Red Sister, the book that came before it, I really loved it. The narrator is fantastic. She does a really good job with the voices and the voice acting and everything. And I decided to listen to this one on audiobook as well because, like I said, I really liked the first one, which is Red Sister. I gave it a 5 out of 5, or maybe it was 4 out of 5. But anyway, it was very high up there, and I can't wait to listen to this one as well because I really liked the first one. The next book I also don't have a physical copy of. I actually reserved it at my library to borrow, and they don't have a copy of it yet, so they're getting it. I don't know how long it's going to take. Might take a few days, so I'm hoping to read this in June, but it might end up getting pushed to July. But I figured I would add it just in case, and that is Inspection by Josh Malerman, and he is the author that also wrote The Bird Box, which is also a Netflix movie now. I haven't seen the movie. I did read Bird Box and I liked it. I think I gave it a 4 out of 5. I liked the book except the ending. I found the ending a little lacking, but I liked the rest of the book. I have not seen the movie because I've heard kind of mixed things, and I'm a brat when it comes to movies based on books. I just tend to hate them. So I don't know that I'm going to watch it, but I did want to give Inspection a try because I really enjoyed Bird Box. And I think Inspection is quite short. I know Bird Box was short too. Bird Box was only like 200 pages or something like that. And I think Inspection is also quite short, and I am hoping to get this from my library soon so that I can read that and hopefully have it done in June. The next two books are actually kind of along the same vein as Inspection. They're more thrillers, and actually I think one of them is a mystery. Well, they're both mysteries / thrillers, I think. But I've heard pretty good things about them, and I've been in kind of a mystery / thriller mood lately. I've been kind of wanting to just read more books outside of my normal genre, which my normal genre is fantasy and sci-fi. But I've really been wanting to read more thrillers, historical fiction, mysteries, even rom-coms and romances. Like, I'm just trying out new stuff. I want to see if I can like other things aside from my normal, fantasy and sci-fi, because every now and then I just kind of want to take a break from reading fantasy and sci-fi. I'm going to always read those, but it's nice to, toss things up a little bit. So these next two books are both thrillers / mysteries. I got them both from Book Outlet, although one of them has a Target sticker on it. But I don't know. So anyway, this is Sadie by Courtney Summers, and this is, I believe it's a mystery / thriller, or maybe just a thriller. I've heard interesting things about this. I've heard some people that love it, some people that've got mixed feelings, some people that don't like it. And I think this is a young adult thriller. Which actually, if it is, it's probably going to, I don't actually have the greatest track record with young adult thrillers. I think the only other one I've read is, what's it called? The Diviners by Libba Bray, and I hated it. I hated The Diviners. So hopefully, if this is a thriller and it is a young adult thriller, it doesn't annoy the heck out of me like the Diviners did. I just couldn't stand the main character in that book. I couldn't do it. I ended up DNFing it. But hopefully I like this one. If I didn't, I got it from Book Outlet, and it was only like $4. So worst comes to worst, I see if I can donate it to my local library. But yeah, I'm going to give this one a shot and see how it goes. Just notice I say see how it goes a lot when it comes to reading or talking about my TBRs. Maybe I should not do that. But anyway, the last book that I wanted to talk about for this month is another thriller. And this one I think is an actual mystery / thriller. But it is called An Unwanted Guest by Shari Lapena. And this one is also another short one. I think it's only 280 something pages. And I heard, who recommended this? I was watching somebody's thriller recommendations on YouTube, and they recommend, I want to say it was Bookables. I think it was Bookables. It might have been Books and Lala. It was one of them. Because I watched both of their thriller recommendation videos recently, and I can't remember who it was that recommended it, but it was one of the two of them. And this one sounded pretty neat. It takes place in upstate New York, which I actually lived in upstate New York for a few years, about 5 years ago, 4 years ago. And so I still love upstate New York. I don't live there anymore, but I still love it. And I thought, oh, a book set in upstate New York. I want to read this. So this is the last one. And again, it is a thriller / mystery. And I think it takes place in like a bed and breakfast or a cabin or something. Oh, it's in the Catskills, which is a little further from where I lived, but that's okay. Yeah, it's like a cabin or a bed and breakfast or something. And there's people that are stranded there in a snowstorm. That's all I know, and I am pretty intrigued to read it. So yeah, that completes my June 2019 TBR. I'm super excited to get to all of these books. I'm really trying to get back into reading more than like 2 or 3 books a month. I kind of had a little bit of a slump, I would say from February to, well, recently, May, and I'm getting back into it now. So hopefully I can read these books. I feel like I can because I've really been making a conscious effort to read at night, like once my kids go to bed and it's nice and quiet, give myself a cup of tea or a glass of wine and I just read, and it's nice. There's nobody bothering me. So I try to do it then and, hopefully not fall asleep because #mom life, that's usually what happens anyway, but anyway, that's my list. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I am curious, what are you reading this month? Let me know, and I will see you next time. Bye.